Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution, the radio program where we talk about looking for a job, changing jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy, thy will be done. And in just a few minutes, Rich Stravinsky is going to be with us. He's got a great topic this evening regarding consultants in the workplace. He really has thought about this one, and it's come up a number of times, the issue that he's going to discuss, and it's really a good one. Lately, we've been taking 10 seconds to be grateful. So think about 3 things today that have made you grateful. You can't be unhappy when you're grateful. Go. Being grateful. I try to do it 3 times a day. Being grateful for even the trials and tribulations and the difficulties that we have. They always make us better. I could go on about being grateful. It's a shame I didn't grow up learning to be more grateful, but I didn't. It's never too late to be grateful. I wanted to, as we do every Wednesday evening, go over an issue that's come up that's going to help in the job search. And this has to do with Dean, who's a candidate of ours, who is a wonderful candidate. He's a very good salesperson. He's had a number of very good jobs and he's been very successful in sales. But Dean didn't read the room. Dean did not really focus on what he was going to do and, well, who his audience was. Dean went into an interview. He had passed an interview with the vice president of sales. He had done a really good job to let the people know that he was a good salesperson. It was a very hard job to fill. Dean is in the supply chain software business, and it's a consulting firm in the supply chain consulting business. And Dean's a really good guy. He's got a real good background in it. Got about 20 years of experience. He's really solid. But Dean goes in the final interview, with the president of the company, of the consulting firm, 2 vice presidents of a consulting firm that are consultants. Now, these are not salespeople, they are consultants. The HR director is in the meeting, and a number of other non-sales oriented people. And Dean proceeds to give a presentation of himself. He has a PowerPoint presentation that he proceeds to give, and the PowerPoints are all messed up. His technology doesn't work. It gets messed up in the progression of the slides. The slides themselves are out of order. His computer malfunctions. The screen in which he is putting them on malfunctions. He tries to give an outline of what he's going to talk about to the people, and half of the outline is correct. The other half of the outline is incorrect. It's clear he didn't practice. He leaves questions to the end, about 15 minutes of time for the questions, which it should have been at least 30 to 45 minutes time for questions. In other words, Dean botched up the whole interview because he didn't read the room. Dean didn't focus on the fact that he was selling non-salespeople, consultants who don't probably appreciate PowerPoints. He didn't have his technology working. He addressed some things that the technologists, consultants probably didn't care about. He didn't ask beforehand what's to be expected in this meeting, which would have been a good idea. He had passed the vice president and done a real good job. In fact, the vice president of the company had seen his PowerPoint presentation and thought it was really good. But Dean had prepared the vice president for PowerPoint. He had not prepared these people. He just didn't have it together. Well, you can imagine what happened. Dean didn't get the job. Moral to the story, read your room. Know what you're selling. Know who you're selling it to. Know how you ought to sell it. Now, what's interesting is they haven't really said no, but they haven't said yes. And this was a week ago. They said no. Implied in between the lines is they said no. So it's always best to find out who you're selling to, what they expect, the way you ought to do it. Vice President could have told him all of that, but he didn't ask. He's a great candidate. It's not likely he's going to get a second chance at this. Read the room. Not only find out who you're selling to, but what you're selling to them and how they want to buy. He should have gone in a totally different manner. A wise man learns by mistakes. A wiser man learns by others' people's mistakes. All right, this is Tony Bashir with the Job Search Solution.